Hey, what's up gamers? Today I propose to go straight back to the early 2000s. You know, when we were rocking baggy jeans. MSN Messenger was life and gaming was hitting its golden age in my opinion. Now I know what you're thinking. Will my favorite game be on this list? Maybe, or maybe not, I don't know. If it doesn't, drop a comment below because this is my personal list of absolute bangers from that era. These are the games that blew my mind 20 years ago and still hold up amazingly well today. So let's get started. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Developed by the legendary folks at Ubisoft Montreal, this game dropped in 2005 and scored a mind-blowing 94 on Metacritic. Yeah, you heard that right, 94. So the story, you're Sam Fisher, the OG stealth legend, and this time you're dealing with cyber attacks, international conspiracies, and some seriously shady politics. It's classic Tom Clancy vibes, gritty, grounded, and packed with tension. But here's the real deal, the gameplay. Chaos Theory reinvented and perfected stealth gameplay. You had total freedom to approach missions however you wanted, sneak through vents, hack security systems, or if you were feeling spicy, knock out guards with brutal close-quarter takedowns. Those things are really common today, but at that time it was just awesome, and don't even get me started on the sound design. The way the game used light and sound as actual mechanics was just genius. The atmosphere, the freedom, the feeling of being a ghost in the shadows, all those things made me pick it for this list. Plus, the co-op mode was pure couch co-op magic.
Didn't anyone ever tell you that spelunking is dangerous?
For the second game mentioned here, we've got the crown jewel of PC gaming, Half-Life 2 by Valve. Released in 2004, this beast of a game sits proudly with an amazing 96 on Metacritic. If you're a gamer and haven't heard of Half-Life 2, I really don't know what to tell you, man. You play as Gordon Freeman, silent protagonist extraordinaire, as you led the resistance against the oppressive Combine in a dystopian post-apocalyptic world. It's a story that feels oddly relevant even today. Oppression, rebellion, and hope. The gameplay, just two words, gravity gun. This thing wasn't just a weapon, it was a physics playground. Half-Life 2 was revolutionary in its use of physics-based puzzles and combat, and that tech still feels incredible even now. It's a timeless game in my opinion, and I think most of you who played it will agree, because it redefined what a first-person shooter could be. The pacing, the storytelling, the level design. It's a masterclass in how to make a video game and inspired most of the shooters released after that. Oh man, Fable, developed by Lionhead Studios. Sadly closed in 2016, unfortunately, by the way. But this game was released in 2004. This was the game that made me feel like I was living in my own fairy tale. It has a solid Metacritic score of 85, but honestly, it felt like a 100 to me back then. The story was about saving and shaping the world. Every choice you made had real consequences, whether you were rescuing villagers or terrorizing them. You could be the shining knight or the devil in human form, and the world reacted to you. Gameplay-wise, Fable was all about freedom, level up your skills, buy property, get married. It was like an early open-world RPG light with a ton of charm. And let's not forget the humor. British wit was baked into every NPC interaction and side quest. Some liked it, others not, but none were indifferent to it. Why does it still hold up today? Because it's pure unfiltered charm. Fable wasn't about being the biggest RPG, it was about creating a world that felt alive and takes you into a real fantastic journey.
Unlucky hero, maybe next time.
For the next one, let's show some love to Nintendo with Metroid Prime. released in 2002 by Retro Studios. It rocked a 97 on Metacritic, and for good reason. This game took Samus Aran from 2D side-scrolling legend to full 3D badass, and it worked perfectly. You're exploring the alien world of Talion 4, uncovering the mysteries of the Chozo civilization while battling space pirates. Classic Metroid. But the gameplay, oh man, it was real a first-person adventure. You weren't running and gunning like in a Doom-like game, you were scanning environments, solving puzzles, and slowly unraveling the story. The atmosphere was thick, the soundtrack haunting, and the sense of isolation was unmatched. Why does it still shine? Because it's a masterclass in immersion. Few games manage to make you feel like you're truly exploring an alien world. Maybe Alien Isolation, but it was released 15 years later. But for the early 2000s, Metroid Prime just nailed it. Now let's talk about a game that put open-world shooters on the map. Far Cry. Developed by Crytek and released in 2004, this game was a visual powerhouse for its time. It scored a solid 89 on Metacritic, and honestly, it was a total game changer. The story follows Jack Carver, a guy who just wanted a chill boat trip but ends up stranded on a mysterious island filled with mercenaries and superhuman mutants. Yeah, it goes places. Gameplay-wise, Far Cry was all about freedom. You could approach combat however you wanted, snipe enemies from the bushes, go gun blazing, or just sneak around like a jungle ninja. The game's AI was surprisingly smart for its time, making every encounter feel dynamic. And the graphics, clearly outdated today, but remember that back in 2004, those tropical environments blew my mind. Crystal clear water, dense jungles, and massive draw distances. It was like a mini vacation, if your vacation included dodging bullets and mutant monster, obviously. It was the blueprint for modern open-world shooters. The DNA of Far Cry can still be felt in games today, and going back to where it all began is like rediscovering the roots of the genre. Alright, I had to mention Crysis on this list, another gem from Crytek. Released in 2007, so not yet 20 years, but really close to it. Time flies fast, guys. This one scored a 91 on Metacritic and became the benchmark for PC gaming. You know the joke. Can it run Crysis? Well, even today not every PC can handle it on max settings. The story drops you into a near-future war zone on a remote island where North Korean forces and mysterious alien tech collide. You play as Nomad, a soldier equipped with the nanosuit, which lets you turn invisible, tank bullets, or run like the Flash. What made this game special was the way it gave you tools to approach situation however you wanted. Need to sneak past a patrol? Cloak up. Want to punch through a wall and surprise enemies? Activate strength mode. The level of freedom was insane. And let's not forget the visuals. Crysis didn't just look good, it looked unbelievable. The lush environments, destructible buildings, and advanced physics were way ahead of their time. Why does it still matter today? Because I think no other game has quite captured the same combination of tactical freedom, gorgeous visuals, and adrenaline-pumping action. It's a game that feels a cutting edge today as it did back then, even if it's a little bit short in my opinion, but still good. The next one is a bit of a sleeper hit. Prey, not the one from 2017, but the first one. Developed by Human Head Studios and released in 2006. It scored an 83 on Metacritic, but doesn't matter for me as I remember feeling so immersed in this game in 2006 that I could give it 100. You play as Tommy, a Cherokee mechanic whose world is turned upside down, literally, when he and his girlfriend are abducted by aliens. What follows is a mind-bending journey through a living spaceship filled with grotesque creatures and physics-defying puzzles. Gameplay-wise, Prey was way ahead of its time. It had portals, yes, before Portal made them famous, and sections where gravity was completely flipped on its head. 1 second you're walking on the floor and the next you're battling enemies on the ceiling. This game was so unique. The mix of traditional shooting mechanics with its creative, trippy level design makes Prey feel fresh even today. Plus, the story taps into themes of identity and survival in a way that sticks with you. Now let's switch gears to something grittier, Dead 2 Rights. Developed by Namco and released in 2002, it scored a 78 on Metacritic, and some won't agree to see it on this list, I know, but it marked my childhood, so I had to mention it. You play as Jake Slate, a cop framed for murder, out to clear his name and get revenge. Oh, and you've got your loyal canine partner Shadow, who can take down enemies like a Fury missile. The gameplay was a mix of Max Payne style gunplay and mini games for things like disarming bombs or interrogating suspects. And let's not forget the bullet time dives. You couldn't play this game without pulling off some slow-mo John Woo stunts. Well, you know, this game, it doesn't try to be deep or complex. It just wants you to have a good time, and honestly, sometimes that's exactly what you need. Next, Need for Speed has to be here, right? I could mention Need for Speed Underground 1 and mostly Underground 2, but I choose to pick Need for Speed Most Wanted, developed by EA Black Box and released in 2005. It had a strong 84 on Metacritic, and it's still one of the best racing games ever made. Don't you agree? Well, the story, you're a street racer climbing the blacklist, a group of 15 of the most infamous racers, while dodging an army of cops led by the ever-smug Sergeant Cross. The gameplay was pure adrenaline. The police AI was relentless, and every chase felt like a scene straight out of Fast and Furious movie. Add in an amazing sense of speed and a killing soundtrack, and you've got a recipe for greatness. Why is it timeless? Because no other Need for Speed game has nailed the mix of arcade racing, epic chases and satisfying progression quite like Most Wanted, and you know it. And here we are, already at the last one on the list. I picked here Max Payne 2: The Fall of Max Payne. Developed by Remedy Entertainment and released in 2003, with a Metacritic score of 86, this game was dark, stylish and oh so satisfying. The story continues Max's tragic tale, full of betrayal, heartbreaking and revenge. It's a gritty noir masterpiece, told through beautifully stylized graphic novel panels. You know the gameplay, it's all about the bullet time. Diving through the air, gun blazing, as everything slows down around you, it never gets old. Max Payne 2 refined the mechanics of the first game, making every firefight feel cinematic and intense. It's a perfectly crafted experience. The storytelling, the gameplay, the atmosphere, it all comes together in a way that few games have matched since. And there you have it, 10 games from the early 2000s that still kick serious butt today. I could mention many other games: Shenmue, Hitman, Deus Ex, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Metal Gear Solid, and so on. There are so many games to discuss, but tell me, was your favorite game on my list? Let me know in the comments and maybe I'll include it on the next video. Thanks for taking this nostalgia trip with me, and I really want to thank you, all of you, for supporting me on this amazing journey that I have on YouTube. It's so amazing to see your comments, likes, follows, and I still can't believe that my videos are appreciated. So I just wanted to share with you that I'm so grateful for all of you guys. You are the best. Until next time, happy gaming everyone. Bye bye.